Good evening. It's now 5:02 p.m. and the regular session of the Planning Commission of the City of Lancaster will please come to order. Tonight our invocation, pardon me, our invocation will be offered by Commissioner Biden, and I will offer the pledge. So if you'd all please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great opportunity for us to come together in service of our city. Pray that you bless all the staff of the city, bless all the applicants that are present today and the people of the community, bless all the commissioners that are present, bless the commissioners that are absent today. And I pray that everything comes together in service of this great city. In Jesus' name, amen.
If you'd please place the flag and join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now the roll call, please.
Chairman Vos,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Harvey,
Present.
Commissioner Burden,
Present.
Commissioner Derryberry,
Present.
Commissioners Moore, Tufts, and Underwood are absent. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Hope all is well with our absent commissioners tonight. Public business from the floor. Excuse me, folks. Fall spring has kicked into my sinuses. Any person who would like to address the commission on any agendized items is asked to complete a speaker's card for the recording secretary. And once that agenda item is identified, we will call upon you when it's called for on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Applicants, however, have an opportunity to discuss their project at a reasonable length. And staff typically makes a presentation prior to the applicant speaking. You'll find the speaker cards at the rear of the chamber, and you would deposit them up here on my left, your right, in the by the little white sign on the end of the dais. Our first action item tonight is the approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of August 18th, 2023. May I have a motion, please?
Just want to just ask, should that be, didn't we meet in September?
I thought that we did.
Maybe that, perhaps, looking at my phone, maybe perhaps it's September 18th. Okay. All
That's
right.
correct. That's a typo. It's September 18th.
With that correction, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting from September 18th, 2023.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. Any further comment? Please vote. There we go. Thank you. Motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent.
My apologies, Heather. I've had all weekend to see that. I don't know why it's standing off the page right now.
Thank you. I'll make sure it's corrected before it's routed for signatures.
All right, we have a number of public hearings tonight. So without objection, the first public hearing, item number 2, conditional use permit 22-17. Ms. Alvarado is presenting on this.
Good evening, Chairman Vos and members of the Planning Commission. This first item we have before you is CUP 2217, which is a request to allow for the construction and operation of a new car wash facility. a retail tenant building and site improvements to property in the commercial plan development zone. So the subject site is located near the southwest corner of 20th Street West and Avenue J. It is approximately 2 acres in size and currently vacant and undeveloped. The project proposal consists of a 6,888 square foot car wash facility with 24 dry station parking spaces and an overflow lane, a 1,950 square foot retail tenant building, and site improvements such as additional parking, outdoor sitting areas, pedestrian access throughout the site, as well as the enhanced landscape adjacent to the street. The car wash would be operating between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Customers would access the facility off of the north double driveway located on 20th Street West, pull through either the facility or the overflow lane that goes around the back of the building, and exit into the parking lot where they can access those dry stations. The building is proposed to have the car wash at floor level with storage area for the business at the second floor level. The exterior of the building would include concrete masonry block, stucco, and accented featured wall pop-outs throughout the facade and canopies over the entrances and windows. All mechanical equipment would entirely be within the building or screened from view. The proposed retail building can also be accessed via the north double driveway on 20th Street West, and can go into the site and has parking spaces readily accessible to that business specifically. Its exterior will consist of stucco finish and wood form concrete finish, as well as have those canopies over the entrances and windows compatible with the car wash building. All other landscape and site improvements are designed to accommodate car wash, vehicle circulation, dry station parking, retail patron parking, as well as a portion for just general parking. In conclusion, staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2325 approving conditional use permit number 2217 to allow for the construction and operation of a new car wash facility and commercial tenant building in the commercial plan development zone located near the southwest corner of 20th Street West and Avenue J. This concludes staff's presentation. I am available as well as my applicant for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do I have speaker cards on this item?
No speaker cards.
No cards, all right. If the applicant would care to address us, they certainly can, but they're not obliged to. I do have a question relative to off-site improvements, however. Northbound 20th, is the left turn into the project restricted? Yes. So the only access then, or the only access would be southbound on 20th, right turning and in and left turning out?
It would be, excuse me, the access
Or
would be
right turning in,
restricted
right
to.
turning out, I guess it would be.
Yeah, right in, right out.
Yeah. Okay. So is that a raised median there, or?
Yes.
It is, okay. Very good, thank you. Any question, Mr.?
I've got a question on water. Do we know what the water usage is and what district or where they're getting the water from?
I do not know what the water usage is. I can defer to the applicant if they happen to have that information. If not, we'll have to go ahead and get back to you on that.
Just curious, really.
This must be the applicant. Good evening.
Good evening.
If you'd identify yourself, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, my name is Savag Karabasyan. I'm the architect for this project.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chairman, and commissioners. We do not have an answer for that question yet. We're at the CUP phase, the conditional use permit. After this portion, a lot more consultants will come on board, and water is going to be one of the biggest issues to solve. So that's next on our agenda.
Typically, don't these types of facilities reuse the on-site water and rarely use more than 15 or 20% of new water source?
The exact numbers I'm uncertain about, but I'm very confident that recycling of water will happen, and as well as capturing of rainwater that will be reused on the project. That's a requirement.
All right, thank you. Any more questions? Anyone? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Staff, anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that as a part of their conditions of approval, they do have the condition number 58, which is to comply with all applicable regulations pertaining to recycling of water.
All right, very good, thank you. All right, then, we have no other public comments?
No public
All right,
comments.
then, without objection, we'll close the public hearing and consider a motion.
I'll move that we adopt resolution number 23-25, approving CUP number 2217 for the construction and operation of a new car wash facility, retail tenant building, and site improvements in the CPD zone located near the southwest corner of 20th Street West and Avenue J.
Thank you. Have a second, please?
I second.
Thank you. All right, then, it's been moved and seconded. Anything further from members? Please vote. Looks like motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent. Congratulations and good luck with your project. The next public hearing is a conditional use permit 23-006. So without objection, that conditional use permit item is open for public hearing. Ms. Swain is presenting on this.
Chairman Bosa, members of the commission, before you tonight is conditional use permit number 23006 to allow for the construction and operation of a 126-room Courtyard Marriott Hotel located at the northwest corner of Avenue J13 and 20th Street West in the Commercial Plan Development Zone. The proposed project is approximately 71,000 square feet, and the hotel would be 50 feet in height and provide a total of 126 rooms. The first floor contains some guest rooms, but predominantly consists of operational and common space, including reception, offices, meeting rooms, fitness facility, and dining. Floors 2 through 4 are exclusively guest rooms and storage areas. A total of 99 parking spaces would be provided on the parking site, with shared parking associated with Fairfield Inn and Suites available for a total of 218 parking spaces. The proposed project would be light gray in color with stepped-out vertical sections of dark gray. Gecko green accents would be placed randomly alongside some of the windows to provide visual interest. A dark gray, brownish color, and I'm going to slaughter this, porte-cochere will be located over the front entrance to the hotel with similar colored awnings and overhangs over some of the ground floor windows. A screened outdoor patio will be provided at the rear of the property for hotel guests and residents. Staff is recommending adoption of resolution number 23-26, approving conditional use permit number 23006 to allow for the construction and operation of the Courtyard Marriott Hotel. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant is also present.
Very good, thank you. So this is the third project for Mr. Mamie, is it not?
That is correct.
All right. So do we have speaker cards on this item?
No, sir, no speaker cards.
None?
None.
All right. I'd asked the question of staff earlier today regarding whether the application included a typical type 70 alcohol beverage consumption application, which apparently it does not. And I was informed that if the applicant or the ultimate user wishes to consider having that type of use on their property similar to the others in that area, they would have to file a separate application and go through another conditional use permit.
So they would file a separate application, but it's not a conditional use permit.
That's right, we changed that, didn't we?
You changed it. It's a director's review, so it's a staff level approval.
So they don't have to come down here and look sharp. They can just come to your office
Yes,
more casually if they choose.
that is correct.
I see. Perfect. Thank you. Any questions from members? From staff, anything further?
No.
All right, very good, thank you. So without objection, we'll close the public hearing on this item and consider a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 23-26, approving conditional use permit number 23-006 to allow for the construction and operation of a Courtyard Marriott Hotel located at the northwest corner of Avenue J13 and 20th Street West in the CPD zone.
Thank you. Have a second, please?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, then, if there's nothing further, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote. Motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent. So congratulations, Mr. Mamie, and good luck with your project. We look forward to seeing it grow out of the ground. The next public hearing is on conditional use permit number 23-007. So without objection, the public hearing is open on this item. Ms. Swain is the presenter on this as well.
Chairman Vos and members of the commission, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for the construction and operation of a 3,596 square foot quick quack car wash within an existing shopping center at the northwest corner of 20th Street East and Avenue J. The proposed car wash would consist of the car wash building that contains the tunnel, office, employee lounge, and restrooms. Upon exit from the car wash, a total of 13 vacuum stalls would be available for use by customers on the west side of the building. The mechanical equipment with associated vacuums would be screened from view by block wall enclosures. The hours of operation for the car wash would be 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. The car wash building would be shades of light gray and snowboard cream with green and yellow accents. The base of the building would be a dark gray split-face concrete masonry with a precision-face concrete masonry border also in dark gray. The building would have green trim along the roof line and separating the light gray and cream colors. Staff is recommending approval of resolution number 23-27 to allow for the construction and operation of the proposed car wash. I'm available to answer any questions, and so is the applicant.
Thank you. Do we have speakers on this item?
No speaker cards.
None? All right, thank you. May I have some questions?
I would ask a water question, but they answered the water question when we approved their last facility, so
They
I'll
did,
save
yeah.
them the need to come up and for me to
Well,
inquire.
they're nice people. We
They are
always
nice
like to
people,
talk to nice
so-
folks.
But they calmed my nerves on the water issue before, so I'm okay.
That's great. Thank you. Ms. Swain, could you put up the site plan again with next one?
This one.
No? Yeah, that one. Since my eyes are not very good and I have this handy dandy little pocket, oh, don't change it, whatever you do.
Oh, I'm not gonna change it.
I must have touched something. I notice you've got, on this particular site plan, a number of potential retail buildings on the north side, plus a whole lot of parking.
Correct. So this
this-
is the Walmart shopping center on the east side of town. This was approved previously as a center overall. These buildings here in the back are a separate application that was already considered in the original approval, and they're just going through their director's review process, along with the associated parking for the rest of the center. The car wash is this little piece right here, and it requires a conditional use permit, which is why we are here before you. It was also not specifically called out in the original approvals.
Way back in 2005 or whenever it was,
Prior to that,
or 8 or 9 or 12 or something, I don't know. Whatever, long time ago.
2001, 2-ish, I believe.
We were just mere children then, weren't we? Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarification. Thank you. With no speaker cards, any further comments from members?
I do, Chairman. Just out of curiosity, I'm sure Ms. Swain probably has this in her hip pocket. Just how many car washes do we have in Lancaster right now? Let's break it down by east side and west side.
So I believe this will be the first one proposed on the east side. There are 2 other quick quack car washes that have been approved on the west side. One at 15th NK, which is recently opened, one at 20th and I, which is going under construction here pretty soon. They're in plan check. And there have been other locations submitted in what we consider a preliminary review, but no formal submittals have been submitted. The car wash that you approved for Ms. Alvarado earlier this evening would be the 4th car wash, and I believe quite a few of the gas stations have their own, and there's some standalone car washes that have been around for a very long time.
I guess that sort of plays into the question that Commissioner Darabear asked earlier as far as with regard to water. So I guess there's some consideration down the line, so there's going to be a little bit of a battle of that approval as well down the line, I would think.
So water actually through a car wash is much more efficient than you washing
Reclaimed.
it in your yard.
Understood.
That water gets recycled. The stuff that comes off your car gets separated out through an oil, water, or grease separator. And there are regulations for the reuse of that water.
That's sort of where I was leaning to.
Yes.
Specific ordinance with regard to that.
Actually, it doesn't come through city ordinance. It comes through the regional board. The Regional Water Quality Control Board requires car washes to operate at a certain standard.
Okay, that answers it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All right, nothing further. We'll close the public hearing without objection and consider a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 23-27, approving conditional use permit number 23-007 for the construction and operation of a 3,596 square foot quick quack car wash located within the existing commercial center at the northwest corner of 20th Street East and Avenue J in the CPD zone.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. And for the record, and I failed to mention this on the previous 2 items, and including the following 3, we received letters from the applicants indicating they have agreed with all the conditions. If they hadn't, we would invite them to the podium to tell us why. And so in this case, as well as the previous ones and the future ones, all of the proposed conditions have been accepted by the applicants. All right then, so it's moved and seconded on this. Item number 4, 23-007. Please vote. Motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent. Congratulations on another. Hope it's successful for you folks. The next item is a tentative tract map number 62403 and containing a conditional use permit 21-10. This is Ms. Campagna is the presenter on this, and before we start on the, I'll open the public hearing and just make a brief statement. I reside somewhere between a half and 3/4 of a mile from this proposed project. I've had the opportunity today to review the requirements of potential conflict of interest on my on the Fair Political Practices website. Also had the opportunity to talk to our special counsel and determined that I live far enough away from it that it's not a conflict of interest to consider the matter tonight. Depending on how I vote, I have no idea, but we'll find out when we get done with the presentation. But I just, for the record, wanted to bring that forward. So, Ms. Campagna?
Good evening, Chairman Vose and members of the Planning Commission. This item before you is tentative track map 62403, conditional use permit 2110. The proposed project is located in the southeast corner of 80th Street West and Avenue L. The project is approximately 68 acres. The applicant is requesting for the subdivision of 235 single-family homes and a residential plan development, also known as an RPD. The RPD will allow for smaller lots for a well-planned development. The lot ranges from 6,000 square feet to 14,204 square feet. As the proposed project would include a linear park with paseos, an amenity center, 2 pocket parks, and 15% open space. With that, staff recommends that Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2328, approving TTM number 62403 and conditional use permit number 2110. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant is here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have speakers on this item?
No speakers.
None? Okay. Thank you. There was some staff correspondence back and forth early this afternoon, late this morning, on this project. And personally, I raised the question of phasing and how it is proposed to be handled on this residential plan development with amenities. So can you share how that's going to work?
Yeah, of course. So when we have, when this project, if it gets approved, then usually afterwards we have a director's review staff level of the phasing matrix. So right now on the map, it has phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 1 is closer to Avenue L, and then phase 2 in the middle, phase 3 towards the end of the track there. When they get the phasing matrix, then we look at the conditions, and then we put those conditions with those phases. So it's something we do after the approvals of the tentative track maps. And it's usually when we have submittals of the production homes as well.
So the conditions of the requirements of the conditional use permit and the conditions of approval then do not address the phasing. That's a staff level review.
That's correct.
So the commission may give staff some direction then as to our thoughts on how phasing ought to go, similar to what we've done on other phased projects, on projects that are RPDs. For instance, I think the last one we saw was on 60th Street West at about K8, maybe, K9, somewhere in there, I think. And as I recall, we had a lengthy discussion on the appropriateness of installing the amenities prior to the completion of the first phase and occupancy of the homes within that first phase, whether they build 10 units at a time or 50. So how would you react to that kind of suggestion?
So let me just get clarification. You would want to condition, or Planning Commission would like to condition that the amenities such as the pocket parks and the amenity center be installed for phase one of the entire project. Is that correct?
Well, the conditions of approval call out all the infrastructure to be installed,
Correct.
the entire infrastructure, the roads, the streets, on and on and on, right?
Yes.
Curb and gutter and sidewalk and sewer and water and electricity and telephone and all of that, right?
Correct.
Out of this entire subdivision.
Correct.
First,
Yes.
then why wouldn't the amenities then be installed at the same time? If, I mean, it's I won't say an insignificant amount, but it's proportionately a small amount of cost compared to all the other infrastructure.
We can add that as a condition.
Well, it's up to staff who's making the recommendation. I'm just speaking as a member of the commission. Since the process has changed, since we've collectively, the royal we, the Planning Commission, the City Council has made substantial changes to the administrative process. We're in no hurry.
So looking at the tentative track map, and would also like to have the applicant speak on this too in regards to the amenities and which ones would be per phase. I mean, that could be added since it's similar to previous track maps and RPDs that we've approved in the past, and it's a prior practice that we've had.
Seems to be our past practice.
Correct.
So I wouldn't, from my own personal view, being involved with other types of development over the years, you know, on one hand, wouldn't want to place an undue burden on myself if I was the developer, but on the other hand, I think it's important that appropriate amenities within a RPD development as in effect, a concession for the smaller developed lots and parking and site utilization and all those other benefits people get from a higher yield per, or higher unit yield per acre than a normal, so-called normal subdivision, right? It's just my opinion. And if you're going to put in roundabouts, for instance, to get access to the first phase, and is that rear access loading in the middle of those? I can't read the lot numbers at all. Your good eyes. Right down through that. See? Mm-hmm.
Lot numbers. Lot numbers 46, 45,
Down that road.
38, 37.
Are those rear loaded or front loaded? You can't read it either, huh?
I can read it now.
So the 46, 47, 49? No, they wouldn't be. So when they submit for the production homes, we ensure that the driveways are facing, what would that be? Streets K or K Street.
What about the ones that go 28, 29, 30, 31, 32?
Due east
Opposite
of the
direction.
western roundabout.
Yeah.
And due west of the eastern roundabout. That dotted line, which is a division of phase line, right?
That's correct.
So are those lots to the north rear-loaded, or are they front-loaded? Access to the driveway,
It'll be front-loaded.
okay? So that strip down through there is some form of landscaping then?
That's correct. So that hashed area there, that's all open space, landscaping, and there would be a paseo through those areas.
So are those lots fenced then in the rear? Would they be?
They would
typically?
be.
Typically?
Typically, they would be.
Are we requiring rear yard landscaping now as a standard condition?
We don't require them as a condition.
I know that was the city council's ordinance some years ago to stimulate development. As far as livability, it's, from my point of view, a poor utilization of a subdivision. I think the whole place ought to be landscaped, even, with drought-tolerant landscaping. If we leave it up to the homeowner, then they may install landscaping that is not drought-tolerant, which is kind of self-defeating, isn't it? Can't do anything about what the city council approved, however, so. All right, thank you. Oh, look, now you can see it.
Really read it now.
All right.
Amazing technology.
Smartphone.
Really see.
I could have probably done the same thing, I suppose, yeah. Thanks. All right, then, we don't have public comments, right?
No comments.
Staff, I've pressured you enough.
No pressure.
Can we go back to the map?
Yeah, of course.
Not the track map, the one that, the neighboring properties.
This one?
Yes. So is it solar here to the west, right?
That's correct.
And then do we know what's approved, if anything, to the east?
To the east, no, we've received preliminary reviews from our housing, but nothing formal.
And current zoning for that?
R10,000.
There's no applications, are they? Is
That's
there-
correct. No
there are
formal application.
No formal,
Correct.
nothing in the pipeline. Nor to the south, I think we may have expired by now, but wasn't there a track map to the south of that? At one time?
I'm not aware of any track maps south of the project.
Pacific Communities has a map submitted between 70th and 80th from L8 to M.
Okay. Thank you. And to the east of 70th, there's a subdivision under construction, and there's a map on the southeast corner pending, right? Of 70th and L.
I would need to double check on that and get back.
So considerable amount of activity in that area. All right, we're good. Thank you. All right, then. No public comments? Anything further from members? All right, then, without objection, we'll close the public hearing and consider a motion.
I'll move that we adopt resolution number 23-28, approving TTM number 62403 and CUP number 21-10 for the subdivision of 235 single-family residential lots, and allow for a residential plan development in the R10,000 zone and adopting a mitigated negative declaration located at the southwest corner of 80th Street West and Avenue L.
I second.
Thank you, thank you. All right, nothing further? Please vote. Motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent. Congratulations, good luck on this one. And it appears you all have 2 more. So, the next public hearing is tentative tract map number 62478. So without objection, we'll open the public hearing on this item. Ms. Swain is the presenter. I think, did we not have correspondence on this, an email correspondence on this piece, which I'm assuming you'll address, but I failed to mention it in my comments prior.
There were 4 comment letters received on the initial study, which were in your packet.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Please proceed.
Chairman Bose and members of the commission, before you tonight is tentative tract map number 62478 for the subdivision of approximately 20 acres into 74 single-family lots at the southeast corner of Avenue I? Sorry, Avenue I and 35th Street East. The lots within the subdivision would range in size from 7,020 square feet to 15,023 square feet. Access to the subdivision would be from 35th Street East, Jackman Avenue, and Avenue I. These roadways would be public. Streets within the subdivision would be private. A block wall would surround the subdivision with sidewalks and publicly maintained landscaping. Staff is recommending approval of resolution number 2329, approving tentative tract map number 62478. I'm available to answer any questions, including regarding the comment letters we received on the initial study, and the applicant is also present.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I recall reading the letter from, or the email, I guess it was, from Ms. Zip, I believe it was.
Correct.
She had raised concerns about impacts to her property, which apparently is adjacent to this. I don't know exactly where it is.
It is immediately to the east. It is the developed property immediately east of the proposed subdivision.
I see.
So it's this area right here.
Ah, okay. And most everything east of this proposed project, south side of Avenue I,
It's vacant.
it is vacant or improved with single-family dwellings on larger lots, scattered, huh?
There's scattered single-family residences in the general area south of Avenue I, but they're all on property that is zoned R7000, not the larger lots. The commenter on the initial study had concerns about the water table. Apparently, that development is on well. The subdivision will be on water from District 40. I'm not sure what easement they're referring to, but access to their property would not be disturbed. It's still from Avenue I. They still have direct access. Dirt from the development of the land, there's requirements for dust control measures, dust control plans, valley fever noticing. All of that is mitigation measures within the initial study and conditions of approval. Noise and traffic, there's going to be some construction noise, but it's not going to generate a substantial amount of traffic in comparison to the surrounding uses. Improvements will be placed around the perimeter of this subdivision, but other improvements on I are not occurring. So they're not required to put curb, gutter, sidewalk in front of the adjacent user's property. And they would not be required to underground the power poles unless they were along their frontage, and those would be required to be undergrounded. And those were basically their comments. Other comments that we received were from CDFW, which was their standard comment letter, and the Air District and Caltrans, which are a restatement of conditions and requirements already contained in the document.
Yeah, and you've addressed all those in the mitigation monitoring program as it relates
Correct.
to those environmental concerns.
Yes, that is correct.
Very good, thank you. All right, speakers on this?
No speaker cards.
Really? Okay. Members, any comments, questions of staff? None? The applicant can certainly talk to us if she'd like, but she's kind of saying no. All right then, so without objection, we'll close the public hearing on this matter and consider a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 2329, approving tentative tract map number 62478 for the subdivision of approximately 20 gross acres into 74 single-family residential lots in the R7000 zone located at the southeast corner of Avenue I and 35th Street East, adopting the initial study, mitigated negative declaration, approving the MMRP, and authorizing staff to execute the NOD.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. All right, then, it's been moved and seconded. No further comments. Please vote. Motion passes 4 yes, 3 absent. So it passes. Congratulations on this one. And one more, apparently, by the same applicant, or not the same applicant, an applicant including the former applicant. This is tentative tract map number 61314. So without objection, the public hearing is open on this item. The presenter is Ms. Alvarado on this.
Okay, so this next item before you is tentative tract map 61314. The request is for the subdivision of 30 gross acres located at the southeast corner of Avenue K and 26th Street East into 84 single-family residential lots. Currently, the zoning is R10,000. Lots would range from 10,010 square feet and can be up to a maximum of 14,146 square feet. Access into the subdivision would be provided from Avenue K and Avenue K4. All of the streets within the development would be private, and landscaping would be provided along the perimeter of the subdivision, along with a 6-foot perimeter block wall. Staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2330, approving the tentative tract map 61314 to allow for the subdivision of 30 gross acres into 84 single-family residential lots in the R10,000 zone located at the southeast corner of Avenue K and 26th Street East, with adopting a mitigated negative declaration. This concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Do you have speakers on this item?
No speaker cards.
None? All right, thank you. I have one question on the design, and if I'm reading this right, on the western boundary, the developer is required to dedicate and improve a portion of a drainage structure? Or is that already there? Whomever.
The tentative map is adjacent to a master plan of drainage channel, so it is for it is not currently constructed, so they will construct their portion of the channel adjacent to their property.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Any questions of members? All right, we have no speakers, right? Okay.
No speakers.
Good. Ms. Alvarado, you done with us?
I'm all done. Thank you.
Good answer. You didn't say you were done with us. You said you're all done. Very good. Thank you. Try to trick these ladies and it just doesn't work. Too sharp, way sharp, yeah. All right then, with that objection, we'll close the public hearing, consider a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 23-30, approving tentative tract map number 61314 to allow for the subdivision of 30 gross acres into 84 single-family lots in the R10,000 zone located at the southeast corner of Avenue K and 26th Street East, and adopting a mitigated negative declaration.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Thank you. All right then, if there's nothing further, it's been moved and seconded, please vote. Motion passes 4-0 with 3 absent. Congratulations, 3 for 3. All right then, that concludes our action items this evening. Our assistant director is going to talk to us about something, I'm sure.
I have 2 updates for you.
Thank you.
Sure. So our planners, all the planning team is participating in the American Planning Association. So they host an annual legislative update, and we'll participate in that tomorrow. And obviously gives an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with bills that have recently been approved, to see how that will impact planning, housing, and, you know, all the wonderful things we do. So we'll participate in that tomorrow. And just a reminder that our November and December meetings are quite full. And we'll definitely want to ensure that we have quorum at those meetings to, you know, continue to move projects forward. We've actually already started adding items for January through March of next year, so which is great. That means that a lot of development is happening and projects are moving forward. So just wanted to share those 2 things.
Thank you, Ms. Garibay. Heather provided me with a likely schedule of meetings into the new year. Have you distributed that with the other members?
Not yet, but I can. I'm awaiting formal submittal per the city's calendar. It has not been released yet for 2024, so my dates are tentative. I feel confident, however, would feel much more confident once we have cities.
Gee, I thought by ordinance we set our own calendar.
Well, maybe, but I don't. So I can provide what's tentative.
Actually, I think we do.
Yeah.
We have, that's probably one of the 3 authorities we still have. Set our own calendar, set our own meeting time. No, we don't do that. Let's see. Okay, I'm down to 2.
Yes. So I've avoided all major holidays that I can think of and city accrued new holidays, so I can get those sent out. I feel confident that they're good.
Why do I feel as though you're looking specifically at me?
Not intentional at all.
I was just checking.
So you said
You're just my line of sight.
Okay.
it's probably January 22nd.
Yes, to
Yeah.
avoid MLK.
It's February 26th
Yes. To
Yeah.
avoid another
and
holiday.
March 18th probably.
Yes.
April 15th. Oh, that's a great day. That's what I have. All right. I'm counting on it. All right. Thanks very much. Commission agenda, any members have anything they'd like to bring forward? No? None? All right, then. We stand adjourned to our regular meeting of November 13th, 2023, here in these chambers at 5 p.m. Thanks. Great work tonight, guys.